Good day everyone. So for the next video on the pre-calculus conic section hyperbola, we will now study the two types of equation for the hyperbola, the standard and the general one. So given the general equation, we need to transform it into a general format and the general format into a standard equation. So let us recall first, what is the use of the two equations? The general equation, when we say general equations, these are for all the conic section. Remember that the standard equation, it provides us a clearer insight on the properties. You can see the characteristics such as how long or how wide or how thick your properties or your graph. For example, for a circle, gaano ba kalaki yung radius or gaano kahaba yung radius ng ating circle. For a parabola, you can see how wide is the opening. Is it opening to the left, right, up or down? And then for the ellipse and hyperbola, would they be longer or shorter? Okay, those are the things present in the standard equation. While the general equation, it only provides us a unified representation. It only represents the cases such as it could be a degenerate conics or a generated conics. So, kapag tinanong tayo, what are the different use? It is for the representation for the general equation, and a standard equation provides us a clearer insight on how we can graph a certain conic section. Going to the first part, that the general equation for the hyperbola this time is in this format, where we can see that ax squared is positive and the by squared is negative for the first equation. Or it can be written also in the format of by squared minus ax squared, where a and b are not equal. When we say general equation for the hyperbola, one of the variables or the coefficient of x squared and y squared should be negative. Hindi pwedeng pareho silang negative or pareho silang positive because it will fall on another category. Okay? So let us practice on how to transform the given standard equation into a general one, where the given equation x squared over 10 minus y squared over 12 is equal to 1 would be transformed into a general equation. So let us write x squared over 10 minus y squared over 12 is equal to 1. So we need to find first the LCM or LCD, which is equal to 60. So I've already taught you on how to get the LCM. There are different methods. You can use factor tree, you can use ladder method, or you can use multiplication process, where each one has different ups and downs or pros and cons. So if you use multiplication method, 10 times 12, it will not give us the proper LCM. So use the ladder method where 10 and 12, we will try to find for a factor which are or which can be which can divide 10 and 12 at the same time. So 2 would be used. So 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So all of these numbers outside the box or our ladder is, or on our ladder rather, should be multiplied. So when can we say that we will stop to use the ladder? If the two numbers or how many numbers do you have there are already prime or do not have a factor between them. So 5 and 6, the factors of 5 are 1 and 5 and the factor of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So kapag 1 na lang yung present sa kanila pareho, that is the time we will multiply all the numbers on the left side and the lower part of our ladder. So 2 times 5 times 6 is equal to 60. So that is why our LCM is 60. So what's the use of that LCM? That LCM will help us to remove or to cancel out our fractions or our denominators. So if we multiply 60 on the on our equation, it will be resulting into 60 multiplied by x squared over 10 minus y squared over 12 is equal to 1 multiplied by 60 again. Okay, so quantity of the equation multiplied both sides by 60. So you can do the shortcut already, but I will show you some longer method. We have 60 times x squared over 10 minus 60 y squared over 12 and 1 times 60. And we can also have 60 divided by 10, or you can do this as quick as possible on the first part or on your letter A. So I just showed you need to multiply each of the term by the LCM. So 60 divided by 10, the answer would be 6. Then itabi natin si x squared kasi wala naman siyang ibang kasamang constant. Wala siyang minus 1, plus 1, wala siyang plus 3, or wala siyang minus 3. So directly, itabi mo agad dun sa constant na nakuha natin. And then, continuing, 60 divided by 12, the answer would be 5. So you will write negative 5y squared is equal to 60. So we are not yet done because according to the general equation, it should be equal to 0. So we can now transpose 60 to the left side. So it will be 6x squared minus 5y squared minus 60 is equal to 1. So this is already your final answer given the standard equation x squared over 10 minus y squared over 12 is equal to 1. On to the next example. For number 2 example, this time, hindi naman siya sa center na 0, 0. But rather, it is in the format of y minus 5 quantity squared over 16 minus x plus 1 quantity squared over 9 is equal to 1. So, there are few changes or additional steps for this particular example since the center is already at h and k where it's not on the origin. So, let us go to solve, or let us show on how to solve this particular equation. Okay? So, let us write the equation first na may extra step for our particular given, no? So, makikita natin dito sa equation na nakalagay na siya as y minus 5. Dun pa lang ma-identify na natin na may extra step na tayo kasi hindi na siya sa center. So, y minus 5 squared over 16 minus. So, always remember that this should be a minus sign. Then, we have x plus 1 quantity squared over 9 is equal to 1. Okay? So, the first thing we need to do is still find your LCM. We cannot use ladder method for 16 and 9 because they do not have a common factor. So, yun yung tawag doon sa term na number na parehong pwedeng i-divide by 16 and 9. Common factor. They do not have a number that is common between 16 and 9 that can be divided or that can divide 16 and 9 at the same time. Okay? So, hindi pwedeng gumamit ng ladder method. That is the time you will use your multiplication process. So, it's 16 times 9. So, 16 times 9, use your calculators. You can use your multiplication table to simplify or find your answer. So, 16 times 9, that is 54. And carry mo yung si 5 sa taas. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5 is 144. So, that's 144. Multiply natin na ngayon. Step number 2 or letter B on our solutions, yung 144. So, y minus 5 squared over 16 minus x plus 1 squared over 9 is equal to 1. Multiply by 144. So, therefore, we can now divide 144 by the denominators. So, 144 divided by 16, that's 9. This time, tabi nyo muna yung y minus 5 sa kanya. Hindi muna siya y lang. But rather, it should be y minus 5. So, minus 144 divided by 9, it's 16. X plus 1 squared is equal to 144. Then continuing, instead of distributing, we should expand first y minus 5. So it would be 9 rather, y squared minus 10y plus 25. So saan ang galing tong trinomial na to? We use FOIL method or the special products. Right? So na-discuss na natin siya and then minus mo na si 16. Expand x plus 1 using FOIL method or special products. X squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 144. Okay? Then, tsaka nyo i-distribute yung 9 and 16. But be careful sa 16. Tandaan siya ay negative. So, there are changes sa sign natin para sa second terms. So, it would be 9y squared minus 90y plus 25 times 9, that would be 225, minus 16x squared minus 32x plus 16. Minus 16 rather. Okay? And then, as we can see, we can now transpose 144 to the left side or still you can write it as equal to 144. Bakit? A-arrange ko muna kasi siya in such a way na meron akong general equation. So that would be 9y squared minus 16x squared minus 90y minus 32x. Then you have plus 225 minus 16. Lipat na natin si 144 para equal to 0 na tayo. And then, we can simplify on the left side. That would be 225 minus 160. So therefore, if this is the last part, that would be 9y squared minus 16x squared minus 90y minus 32x minus, it should be plus instead. So because 25 is larger, subtract natin si 160. So that would be an equal to 65 is equal to 0. Pwede namang mauna si x squared, pero imamanipulate nyo muna. Negative x squared plus 9y squared plus 32x minus 90y plus 65. Since negative yung nauna, multiply nyo by negative 1. Pwede po yun. Okay? So, magiging 16x squared minus 9y squared plus 32x plus 90y plus 65, minus 65 is equal to 0. So, kung gusto nyo lang naman na nauuna yung x squared, pwede na naman yung first na nakabox or yung pangalawa. Pareho lang yan. Nauna yung y squared sa taas, x squared sa baba. And then, this is the last example in transforming standard equation of a given hyperbola. On to the next part of our topic, which is this time, we will transform the given general equation to standard equation of a hyperbola. So let us look on the given two numbers. We have number 1, 4x squared minus 5y squared plus 32x plus 30y minus 1 is equal to 0. And number 2 as 9x squared minus 3y squared plus 54x minus 18y plus 81 is equal to 0. So, number 1 first, look at the equations. They are almost the same, right? But which of the two would result into a vertical or which of the two will result into a horizontal hyperbola? Okay? Number 1, let us show our solution. We have 4x squared minus 5y squared plus 32x plus 30y minus 1 is equal to 0. Disregard this sign. It's just a typo error. We have the first step. All of the first step of our given transformation of general to standard is to group your terms with the same variable. Okay? It's not combined. It should be grouped. Okay? It should be 4x squared plus 32x. And then, put inside the parenthesis si 5y squared with negative. Negative 5y squared plus 30y is equal to positive 1. That positive 1 should be on the right side since wala naman siyang variable. And then for letter B, we can now write or factor out 4 on our variable x. So it becomes x squared. At si 32, di-divide natin siya by 4. Pag sinabing factor out, both of the constants should be divided by the number. So 32 divided by 4, it will become 8x na lang. Sorry, 8x. Then, sa y, isama niyo yung sign. Should be negative 5 y squared. 30 divided by negative 5 is negative 6y. Okay? Is equal to 1. And then, letter C, sabi natin, C stands for completing the squares. So, we have x squared, C sub x, where 8 over 2 squared, the answer is 4 squared or 16. And C sub y, which is 6, negative 6 divided by 2 squared, the answer is negative 3 squared or equal to 9. And that 9 should be added from the left side and right side of our equation and with the respective variable. It would be 4 multiplied by x squared minus 8x plus 16. Then we have minus 5 y squared minus 6y plus 9 is equal to 1, including plus 4 because there's a 4 outside. And a 16. And then you also add or subtract rather 5 negative and 9. If we simplify our given, it will result into factored form of the first term, x plus 4. Ito siya galing. And then, write 4 here. Minus 5, factor out y squared minus 6y plus 9. That would be y minus 3 because of this. Then is equal to, the value of our last part would be equal to 20. Okay, now the 20 should be divided in each term or each number. And then 4 over 20 is simply 1 over 1 over 5. But we, instead of writing 1 over 5, we will write x plus 4 squared on the numerators or numerator. Then minus 5 over 20 instead of 1 over 4, it would be written as y minus 3 squared over 4 is equal to 1. And this is your final answer for example number 1. For number 2, before we proceed, we can see that number 1 is a horizontal hyperbola. It shows us that this particular general equation is an example of a hyperbola in horizontal format rather. Okay? And for number 2, we have 9x squared minus 3y squared plus 54x minus 18y plus 81 is equal to 0. Let us check if this time it is an example of still a horizontal hyperbola. First step again, letter A, we have 9x squared plus 54x negative 3y squared minus 18y is equal to negative 81. Okay, then letter B, factor out 9 will become x squared plus 54 divided by 9 will become 6x Then for the other side, we have negative 3 will be y squared plus 6y is equal to negative 81. Continuing, letter C stands for completing the square. So we can see they have the same value of b. So that is 6 divided by 2 squared, and c sub y is equal to 6 divided by 2 squared also. That is 3 squared, 9 and 9. For letter D, we have to add, or we should add 9 for both sides of our equation. 9 multiplied by x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 3 y squared plus 6y plus 9 is equal to negative 81 plus 9 times 9 minus 3 times 9. It will result into a simplified format and a factor format of 9x plus 3 squared minus 3y plus 3 squared is equal to negative 27. Then divide both sides by negative 27 so that our given right side is equal to positive 1. And that will result to in x plus 3 squared over negative 3 plus y plus 3 squared over 9. So you can see, nauna yung negative, pagpalitin nyo lang ng pwesto, mauna yung y plus 3 squared over 9 minus x plus 3 squared over 3 is equal to 1. And we can see here that our standard equation is in vertical format. Okay? So, that's all for our lesson in transforming general equation into standard format and standard format into general equation. On to the next topic, we will now discuss on how to get the different properties given the standard equation or even the general equation of a hyperbola in vertical and horizontal format.